I had a student one time who inadvertently ended up moving in with me. He had a very rough, rocky relationship with his mother. And his mother, she was doing the best she can. And they were a different breed because, to be in Kentucky from New York, everything was different. And she was, we all have a past. We all have our troubles and things that we got to get over. But, I'm saying, talking to her sometimes was like talking to a dude. Now I mean, B, huh? Check me out, God, huh, son? And just to hear her and her son go back and forth, when he got 16, it was a war, especially because this boy was like 6'7", 6'8". Couldn't play a lick of ball. Let him tell it though. He's the next, LeBron James or something like that. So anyway, he came to stay with me, and it turned out a point in time, he thought that staying with me was going to be the bachelor life because I was his favorite teacher, his man, 100 grand. But he didn't understand that being in my house, I'm still an adult. And if I'm going to be responsible for a teenager, we're not two bachelors living together, my dude. Nah, it's not like that at all. And I had to lay down some rules and regulations, which he abided with at first, but like any teenager, he wanted to test the limits. And I was still young. I didn't have any kids yet. So, I wasn't about that at all. No. This was my first go around and seeing what it would be like to have kids. And then not only that, my girlfriend at the time, soon to be my second wife, the mother of all four of my kids, was actually pregnant with my oldest son. So for me, this was also kind of a test run on what I needed to do and what I needed to be aware of in trying to raise a teenager. But it's something too, when you just skip 16 years of upbringing, you just go straight to, even though I'd been his teacher for a couple years, that was not the same as him being in my house. Well, it all came down to, he called me one day, he was messing up and wouldn't act right. And, put him on punishment. I put him on punishment. And even though he was 6'8" and he didn't want these problems, he didn't want no parts of Big Daddy. But he chose to do something else. He was not going to abide by the rules that I set out. He was not going to honor his punishment. He stayed out. He went to the fair, did whatever it is he wanted to do, and was gone like the whole weekend or whatever. And then came back like on a Sunday and was just like, well, I'll take my punishment now. I'll just stay in the house. Nah, playboy. It don't work like that. You staying here with me is a privilege at that. I don't got no papers on you. I don't know nothing. And the fact that you decided you was gonna stay gone all weekend, when you stayed out and did what you want to do, that told me you moved out. You grown. You do what you want to do. So I'm gonna let you continue on with that decision. I know I called your mom. She said, listen, whatever you gotta do. And it broke his heart, and it absolutely changed our relationship. And I told you, listen, it's with all love, but not here, my boy. And it's one thing for me to be a 16-year-old, but it's another thing when you're still adult and you don't want to accept accountability. Hello, Governor. This is Rekkai Steed, Noob from the Ville. Season 3, Episode 1 of Bel-Air, called Baby, I'm Back. And this episode is all about accountability. We see a new and improved Will 2.0, or I guess 3.0, and he's at the Beverly Hills Country Club playing pickleball. Yeah, Philly ball. Anyway, it's summer and he's trying to figure his life out. Ball is still going. We have Hillary coming back on the plane with her, the football playing dude. And we see Carlton getting out of rehab finally. But Carlton has a little something going on with a girl that he was in rehab with. The thing is, when he gets home, it's icy. You can tell that the family's glad that he's home. No one more than Will. But as far as with his mom and dad, they put like a electronic lock on the wine cellar. Like, they took the doors off his room. They're glad he's home, but things are not back to normal. It's announced that they're having a Juneteenth celebration at the house, and everybody has to be on their P's and Q's. And we even see like Phil and Viv in the middle of Black Love, like she's shooting a photo shoot for Essence. And they look wonderful. And Ashley has one of her little friends over, and her friends are like, your family is perfection. And she says something very poignant. She said, it's better to look the part than to be, the part, like for everyone to know what's really going on beneath the surface. Carlton and Will are out at a late night spot grabbing burgers or something. And Lou, Will's father, walks out of the spot. He doesn't really say anything, and before he even musters up the courage to say something, Will bounces. He's pissed. The next day, Will had an interview with a guy that he met at the country club. Now, from first appearances, when you see Quinn is tattooed out and he looks like a former rapper or gang member or whatever. A lot of assumptions can be made on a young black man with the drip and a bunch of tattoos. Lord knows I know what you might not be able to tell in the video right now. I look awful, you know what I'm saying? I need my hair retwisted. I don't got my drip on. I got a few tattoos, but that has often been the label of my life, where people make a lot of assumptions about me. Anyway, Will is at basketball practice and he is stinking up the gym. Stinking it up. And Doc was like, what's going on with you? And he's like, nah, Will says, I'm going through some stuff, and it'll be better. And Doc is like, man, get out of my gym. The thing is, practice was supposed to have been over 45 minutes, an hour ago. And they went long because Will was doing so terrible. Turns out Will is late to his interview with Quinn for a Young Black and Gifted program where they pitch business ideas, and if he gives you a spot in the program, you get a shot to see if your business can survive. And I guess he provides the resources and things like that, because young guy's a billionaire apparently. Carlton invites his girl, I think her name is Amira, invites her to the Juneteenth thing at the house. The problem is, when she first meets his parents, Amira starts talking and says, oh, Carlton talked about you all the time in rehab. I feel like I already know you. So the parents find out that she was in rehab with him and is like, that's not a good look. And then later on, Aunt Viv approaches her and is like, this ain't what Carlton needs. Like, he can't get better. He can't do better with you in there. And then Amira says something to the fact like, having somebody go through it with is great every time you go through. And she's like, oh, she said, Amira said she was a repeat offender. And Viv pretty much came to a woman. The woman was like, listen, don't focus on Carlton. You need to focus on you. Get yourself better so you quit being a repeat offender. At this party, Quinn is at the party, and at the party, Carlton runs up on Quinn and pleads the case for Will because Will blew his shot. Also, at the same time that Will blew his shot, Carlton found out that the faculty member who was backing Carlton to go to Princeton pulled out. He don't believe that Carlton is better, and just coming out publicly about his drug addiction, his problem. Aunt Viv said, it's great that you had the courage, the bravery to come out. However, now there are consequences to your actions. And that's what this is going to be all about, consequences. Also, at the same time, Jazz ran into Hillary. Jazz showed up with his do boo thing and then pulled him a little Instagram model in there. He's like, he's not walking in solo dolo. And Hillary's like, I apologize being taught. He's like, nah, I'm good. Hillary says something like, I never hurt you. And he's like, never that. He's lying. But then he says something to the effect of, he gets real indignant and tells her that she was a coward. And all she does is run from everything when things get hard. And there may have been some truth to that. However, he cannot pretend and say that him saying that is not coming from a place of hurt. Boy, stop. But he tells her, and it's just going to be a matter of time from you run from little buddy too. So Hillary, on the strength of that, runs out here and tells everybody that on the plane back from Paris, he proposed to her and she said yes. Now she did that, of course, it was a knee-jerk reaction to throw it in Jazz's face. The timing is terrible. Quinn offers Will and Carlton, if they agree to team up, he offers them the last spot in his program. And he said because the way that Carlton went in and defended Will, he defended him like his life was on the line. And he said he hasn't seen anyone go that hard for someone else. And it's clearly, Will kept calling them the dynamic duo and his partner. And it's clear that they have, I know they're cousins, but they do have a deep connection and love for each other. And at the end of the episode, we see Jeff, who's on his way home, and we get the feeling that some people are looking for him or tracing him. But when we get home, there's the TV's already on in his place. We're like, man, who was that in his place? And we come to find out it's Frederick, his son, is back. Will was about to go to his tournament in Vegas with Doc. And he had went to see Lou to talk about why had Lou been in town but never reached out, never contacted him. And Lou said some good stuff. Doesn't mean he was right, but he did say some good stuff about it went so badly the last time that he saw Will, and he felt disrespected and he did some disrespecting on his own, that the next time he saw his son, he wanted to come correct. And he stayed, got him a job at the barber shop and got him a little apartment, and he was trying to put his life together to at least be a man that made his son proud. He might not have what Philip Banks has, but he wanted his son to look at him without the same disdain that he had before. And that's a long road. But in that, Will decided he wanted to be the same man, and maybe playing basketball wasn't what life was all about. And he wanted to give this thing with Quinn a shot. So he decided to take the summer off of playing basketball and enter this program with Quinn. And so at the end, he told Doc he wasn't going to the tournament in Las Vegas, and he was, at least for the moment, done playing ball. And he got in the car to join Carlton so they could start formulating a business plan. This video is about accountability. Josiah Stamp says it's easy to dodge your responsibilities, but it's not easy to dodge the consequences of dodging your responsibilities. A lot of people don't understand that accountability is the glue that ties you to commitment. You have to be accountable, not only to yourself, but to the other people that depend on you. See, that's the rub. A lot of people, if it came to it being just about you, you would probably let yourself down every single time. Because it's not a big deal. You figure you'll make it up at some point. But when it comes to other people that you have to be accountable to, you have to continue to show up and show out. I know, and one of my mantras was, when I was younger, when I was by myself, you could drop me off on any street corner in any city in the world and I'm going to thrive. I'm going to survive and thrive. But as I've gotten older, a little bit more mature, a little bit more seasoned, and I have 4 little people that depend on me, it makes it even harder. Money's tight. The struggle is real. But I have to continue to show up every time. I have to be accountable. To not be accountable to these. You know, in your relationships, at work, with your friends and family, it's easy to shirk being accountable. A lot of people will shirk being. Was it me? I don't know who it was. Avoid responsibility. But when you really set out to put your life straight and do what is right, let me leave you with this. We are all accountable for our actions and the influence that they have on our lives and the lives of others. Understanding the true meaning of accountability makes us strong and enables us to learn. This is Rekkai Steve, Nuke from the Ville. Make sure that you like, comment, share. And by all means, if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe. We're on the journey to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. And I thank each and every one of you. Hit the subscribe button. And then not only that, put this video on the background. Let it play. I need the viewing hours, so just let it play. Let some of the other videos play. You might get something. You might not, but I thank you for it anyway. Remember, it's all about this, but it has to be about this too.